Okay, everybody, we'll try this one more time. Good evening, everyone. It's Saturday night, about a quarter after 10 p.m. here in Zhongshan, China. Good to be with you. It's been a while since I've been live with you guys. The reason is I've just been so insanely busy, which is not a bad thing. I guess it's a good thing. Uh, the term started about 4 weeks ago. It started way before that, but I started teaching about 4 weeks ago, and I have to say, during the term, I get very busy. And this year, though, has been something has hit me this there, and I've been teaching at the college now for this is my fourth year there, and each year I feel like the students are getting better and better. This is the incoming freshman students, and by far this year it has blown me away. The incoming students, when they're coming to the college, are bringing with them a skill set and knowledge that is above and beyond what my students were doing 4 years ago. So they've been keeping me on my toes because I have these standard lectures and these workshops that I do, and I tweak them every year. But this year I've had to tweak them a hell of a lot more to compensate for the increased skill level of the students. It's been a great surprise and a wonderful thing, and with all the new things at the college, all the new construction, all the new classroom equipment, it's an ongoing thing going on there. And then this new crop of students coming in, I'm pretty optimistic about what the future has in store for this college. So yes, I've been very busy again. Last time we talked live, I had about 15 projects in the can that ready to be edited and then given out to you guys. But it turns out I've been a lot busier than I thought with other projects, not just my Chinese lessons, my work with the council, um, but also other filming that I'm doing. So right now I counted, even though I got two videos out since then, and one of them was just you know, my rental car video. I still have 17 videos or 17 projects that are in the can, and I have more planned for the near future. So it's a matter of just sitting down at my desk and getting it done. And that's easier said than done. Hold on. Let me there you go. Yeah. It's easier said than done it's hours and hours of work and to produce these videos. And so I appreciate everybody's patience. They are coming, a variety of topics, more hotels, more traveling throughout Guangdong and the country, more car videos, more interesting things are in and around my city of Zhongshan, just general life and great stuff. And I'll share some of that with you all tonight. But if you're out there, please say hello and tell me where you're coming from. It's an earlier live stream than normal, so many of you are probably still asleep. The reason I know it's Saturday night, but I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. So let's get to some photographs and tell you what I've been up to the last couple of weeks and what you can expect from the channel. Okay, we'll start with something fairly simple. My car. So if you watch my latest video, my car was in the shop. The suspension needed to be replaced. Actually, the front suspension just kind of went down. So I just elected to get all four struts and shocks replaced, a couple other pieces replaced. It took quite a while to get the parts in. I was shocked by how long it took. But then, in all, I'm very happy with the repair. The suspension is great now. I got the alignment done. It drives super smooth, but it was a costly one. This actually cost me more money than the rebuilding of the engine and the timing belt. So in all, I think I paid around 5,000 yuan for all the suspension work to be redone on the car. Now, with the engine rebuild and the new radiator and all that stuff, I've spent a lot of money on my car in the last month, and a lot more than I had anticipated spending. It was a kind of a shock. It didn't necessarily leave me stranded. It just, these are routine maintenance things that come with owning a secondhand car, especially one with high mileage. So, but still, everyone's like, Paul, why don't you just go buy a new car? Why don't you just get a newer car and you don't have to constantly replace things and upgrade 'em. But the cost of repair for a secondhand car is so minimal. I mean, the most expensive part is the parts, which are still relatively cheap compared to that of other places, America. And then the labor is so cheap that I looked at it 5,000 UN versus 130,000 plus for a new car. It just made sense to repair it and continue on with it for now. I'm still planning on buying a new or newer car sometime in the near future, probably within the next year. But for now, the my 10-year-old Havel is still trucking along. She still drives nice. It's completely situated for myself. I'm quite happy with it. I hope the connection is okay. I've been having issues with my Wi-Fi. Next door, down the hallway, I live in a building. I made a video about this too. It's actually coming out soon. Is In my building here, the next couple of rooms over are actually hotel rooms. They're sold as hotel rooms on a nightly basis. And then at the end of the hallway is a brand new business that opened up. There was some construction going on for quite a while in the hallway. They had the sheets down to protect the tile and everything. And I was like, well, what business is it? Because there's a lot of work going on. What business is this? And it turns out it's a bar. They opened a bar on my floor of this building at the end of the hallway. And it's not what you think. It's not like a bar with like live music and everything. It's actually got a theme of flowers and plants. They say they're open at 7:30 in the morning for coffee and then cocktails throughout the day with a closing time of about 5:30. I think it was 5:30 at night. But they don't actually close at 5:30 at night. They are there very late and oftentimes smoking in the hallway and causing a lot of noise late at night. So that has added to my sleep woes, unfortunately. Hmm. But uh, tonight it's relatively quiet. I will say this: the owners out there, they actually put flowers out in front of their door, and it does smell very nice. When I come home, the hallway smells like fresh flowers. It's only until late at night when they actually start smoking cigarettes, and the smell kind of gets really bad. I had a small little piece break in my car. It was like a little tiny little plastic piece about that big, very, very tiny. And it turned out it was this. It was my brake pedal. So this is the old brake pedal. I parked the car one day at the mall and noticed that the brake lights weren't turning off, and I couldn't figure out why. And it turned out there was a small little piece that was broken on this, and they don't sell that little plastic piece individually, so you have to buy the whole unit. Now, the whole unit with installation took about an hour to install it. All in all, was less than 300 RMB. So it was like $40 for it. So not a big deal. Took an hour. Um, just little things like this continue to pop up a little bit just in the last month. I've owned the car now for 2 years, and it's just in the last month that these things have kind of reared their ugly head a little bit. In addition to that, I have also been doing a lot of speaking engagements. Well, not a lot, but a few. You've seen them. People are interested in what it's like to be a foreigner and walking around China with a camera and how I'm treated. Um, this was at a kind of a it was a conference with a bunch of speakers about I don't want to say like entrepreneurs, more like uh, independent business owners, I guess you can say. And it was great. I'm very happy I got a chance to speak there. I spoke about how wonderful it is to not have a boss. So, and some of the other people that spoke here were fascinating. They're very young. Well, they're entrepreneurs and they're opening up incredible businesses. So I went up there. I told my story. It was in English. I used some of my Chinese as the introduction, but the vast majority of the speech was in English, and many of the audience spoke English. So it was a wonderful kind of bilingual event. And afterwards, they put us up all on stage, and there was a little Q&A. Great questions. I had a great time with it. It was wonderful. Then I went here. This is the Lighting Expo in Gujin. Um, I've done many videos about Gujin. Twice a year, they do a giant expo fair, and this was one of them. And I got to walk around. I made a video for the local news agency here for it. That was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. But next to that was this. So if you during at the same time down the street at the Lihe Plaza in Gujin, they had the Guangdong Greater Bay Area Fashion Home Design Week, and this was all the latest designs, interior design pieces, in the Greater Bay Area in China. And a lot of a few of the designers were international, but most of them were Chinese. And so I got to see not just like lighting design, but also furniture design and interior design and artwork. It was a fabulous thing, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I am making a video about this. This is one of the pieces that won an award in a previous year, and believe it or not, that is a chair. That is a chair. You know, your butt here. I'll blow it up so you can see it a little bit better. That is a chair. And you sit your butt there. These are the armrests, and that's the headrest. And the whole thing was full of things like this. It was really really neat. I got some more photos here. So this is I love this all natural kind of look. You know, this wood. This reminds me of a piece that my family had. My father had in our living room. We had a huge conference table, excuse me, a huge coffee table that was natural wood. I think it was redwood. But I love these types of pieces, and these are the modern, brand new designs. They had a traditional Chinese section, which was interesting to see these these Chinese hardwood, mahogany wood style that are flat, but also mixed in with some modern colors and modern cushions. It was really neat to see that. This is the desk that I thought was the coolest. I don't know if you can see just how large this desk is, but this is a boss's desk. This is a massive, massive desk. But I love the floating design over the return like that with the soft wood edges. I don't like the color of the chair, but I can appreciate the splash of color. But it just goes so well with the background. I absolutely love this desk. Wait till you see the video. The video will blow you away because I got to go inside and in around and kind of show off this desk a little bit. It was really cool. Um, a lot of lighting design, as you can see. It was an interesting room. Kind of get lost. It's a completely mirrored room, so you just kind of get lost in there. Kind of nuts. But then they had some funky things like this. Now, now I thought this was cool and all, but I can't say that I would want this in my home. But I could see this as kind of like in an art boutique style hotel, perhaps. Just a clever, use of the imagery in a Chase Lounger. Really neat stuff. Again, a video will be coming out on that soon. And then I went to this office and I saw this. You know, this is it's supposed to be Louis Vuitton. It's not. It's Louis Vuitton, right? But it's just a little napkin dispenser. This is on someone's desk. Here's another thing. I think this has got to be the greatest coffee mug I have ever seen. Yes, that is a coffee mug. And I don't know why anyone would want to drink their coffee from that, but still very clever, wouldn't you say? Mm, all right. Mm. Stanley's on. Thank you for joining me, Stanley. Appreciate it. I dream of not having a boss one day. Just do it. I mean, technically I have a boss too. I mean, I work at the college, but I'm pretty much left to my own devices there. Everything else that I do, everyone wants me to come work for them. I get people talking to me all the time. Hey, come to my company and work for me. And they want to put me in a desk for 40 hours a week. And I just can't do it. I won't do it. Focus. This camera. I think it's time for a new camera. I've tried playing with the focus after Yeah, out of the live stream. It just never works. Nice to see you live again. Just wondering how well is that after school tutoring been enforced where you are? And what's your name again? You don't share that in your vids a lot. My name is Paul. Um, I share that all the time. But the ban, I'm going to talk about it in the news section today, but the ban is heavily enforced throughout the country and including here in Zhongshan. And it has affected thousands and thousands of people and tons of businesses. I mean, it's a real thing. So, yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to the. I have an article about it, but it's something about 40% of all the training centers in China have closed so far, and more are on the way. I just got news today that another one will be closing in town. I know a couple people have lost their jobs recently. Um, it's not looking very good, and the reaction from the this is my impression. I don't speak for everybody, but the reaction from the populace is a little bit of trepidation. I mean, they understand the reasons why these rules have come out, but it seems like a lot of people are very worried. And if you want to continue, you have to go into the black market of tutoring for your children. I don't teach children; I work at the college. But if if you want your children to have this kind of instruction, you have to go to the black market, and the prices are actually higher because of that. So that's what we'll talk about in the news. There's actually a news article about it that we'll talk about. Right? You know what? Honestly, William, I think I have seen that on Bow Pals. I really do. I think I saw a coffee mug toilet coffee mug on Bow Pals. Jolly's on. Good to see you, Jolly. Hope you're all well, man. We haven't talked in a while. We should share a phone call soon, man. And I'm no stranger to working 40 hours a week behind a desk. In fact, back home when I worked in real estate, I would work well over 40 hours a week in front of a computer at a desk. And yeah, it was a nightmare. I don't think I can do it. Never again. I think it's funny. People say, "Hey, come work for me, Paul. Come work for me," and I say, "No, you can't afford me." And then they give me an offer. I'm like, "No, you really can't afford me." What else we got? The Gujin Light Expo video. It's you can find a couple of them. Send me a message. I'll send you the link. You can find them on YouTube. They're not on my channel. They're on other channels. And the video that I am producing, it wasn't for the expo. It was for the lighting fair. It will have a little bit of the fair, but most of it will be the design week. So the fair itself, I thought it was a little redundant because I was doing so much in Gujin and making all these videos about the showrooms and everything. The fair was just a copycat of the video that I had just released last month. So there wasn't anything new really for me to show on my channel, but the Design Week Expo or the Design Week exhibition that was there, that was something super unique and super interesting, and that will have to come out hopefully soon. Again, I have 17 projects in the can and more filming on the way, and I'll talk about that later. So uh, if I can just find the time. I got a little bit of time tomorrow night. I'm doing a live stream tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna order some Meituan and hang out here in the office and just edit as much as I can. But I do have lesson plans I got to finish for Monday. Monday's a big day for me. Yeah, that is a thing. Sports training centers are always popular. Art training, music, dance, things like this, and there are ways around it. There are certain strategies that some training centers are going to, but the ones that are closing are either the ones that don't want to put up with, rebranding or having to alter their curriculum to meet the new laws. I don't want to say standards, but the new laws, so that they can continue into business. However, uh, uh, many of them are changing to, instead of teaching math, they're teaching computer programming, or instead of teaching English literature, they'll be, teaching acting, kind of thing in English. So there's little tricks and stuff, but most of them are closed. Either we're having financial difficulties to begin with, they're over bloated and don't can't pay their bills. There's all kinds of reasons. It's not just this is the it's not just cut and dry. This is the reason why they're all closing. There are many different ways. Each center has its own kind of issues and its own. The winds are blowing in different ways for each training center and each company. It's really a patchwork all throughout the country. You still see many open. You still see many signing up students, but for various reasons, and it's difficult to navigate. And there's still a lot of confusion in the market. I mean, even on the message boards, I see. I mean, there was an argument recently on one of the message boards where people were saying that is now illegal for training centers to employ foreign teachers, and that is not true. But everyone thought that that was the case when they read into the they read into the regulations and they thought no, that but it's not the case. If you're a legal foreigner and you want a job in a training center, you can still get one. The difference is the training centers now have to operate within certain boundaries as far as times, the curriculum, and cannot be for profit endeavors. They have to be nonprofit, which basically limits their ability to not only have retained earnings but also to get investments in. So many of them can still operate in a nonprofit and pay a decent salary if they are operating within a certain framework that is that gels with the new laws. So it's very confusing. The market is just going crazy right now. The term has started, so everyone's just kind of going crazy. No one really knows what's going to happen, but the market will find equilibrium somehow, as it always does. Okay, a couple more photos. Uh, oh, this was an interesting day. So, a video that I shot this week, probably be coming out in the next 2 weeks or so, was at a business here in Zhongshan. Now, Zhongshan has many towns. Gujin is lighting, Xiaolan is hardware and underwear, and Shashi is clothing. But another town just north of here is called Gankou. Gankou is famous. Their claim to fame is entertainment, amusement rides, and tourism kind of manufacturing. I don't, that makes any sense. And there's an awful lot of art studios. And this studio that I went to makes wax figures, and they are very famous. And they have wax museums all throughout the country. And but I've seen these before. These are different than the wax figures you find at Madame Tussauds or anything else you've ever seen. These are hyper realistic. I have never seen wax figures. Oh wait, I'm not even sharing. I'm sorry. Here it is. I have not seen wax figures as accurate and as lifelike as these. So I got to not only tour their warehouse, but also meet the head designer, the head person who's an amazing woman. I also got to meet some of the artists and see their workshop. And some of these can take anywhere from 3 months to 18 months to complete each one. They're that detailed. I mean, and when you touch the skin, I mean, it's made from a silicon gel. It feels like real skin. And there were so many times when I was walking through the warehouse and also the offices. I mean, they've got these little figures everywhere, and not just celebrities, but also like just random people. I mean, when you walk into, for example, here, I'll show you. I'll show you this. Her name is Joel, uh, Sh- Zhou Shuirong, and she's the owner of this company that makes these. Um, an amazingly sweet lady and incredibly gifted boss who runs this whole thing. And I was in her office, right, and we were kind of talking, going about strategy. How are we going to film this? What are we going to do? And I'm sitting on her sofa and she's sitting in a chair across, drinking tea. And on the chair over here is a wax figure of her great grandmother that she had made to honor her great grandmother. And she, it's this little old Chinese lady who's like sewing something. And I thought the whole time it was tripping me out because it looked like a real person. Yeah, I've seen wax figures before, and yes, they kind of look like wax figures. And they're kind of cool, but these are so realistic you cannot tell. And I was walking through these places, people were jumping out at me, going, "Ha! See, I'm real." And I walk around, I say, "Okay, is that?" And I would have to go up and like literally like push them to see if they were real or not. It's that incredible, and they're famous in Zhongshan. Of course. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. No, that's not the one I want. I'll talk about that later. Of course, you have Nicolas Cage. Why not? That's Angelina Jolie behind. There were a couple of Angelina Jolies, a couple of Nicolas Cages. Nicolas Cage, his face did seem a little large, from what I remember in the movies, but his hairline is what gives it away, right? uh, see, there's Jason Statham. There were a couple of Jason Statham. This is a younger Jason Statham. The thing with the hair, everyone says I look like this guy, by the way. The thing with the hair, so they input the hairs on top of the head one at a time. It can take, a couple weeks. And then after the hair is implanted in the head, then they shave it down. There's an actual barber that will cut it to make it match. And when you touch the hair, it feels like real hair. It feels just like my head. It's insane. Very, very cool stuff. So this is one of the workshops. This is the clay modeling portion of it. Um, they also do 3D modeling of the body and the head. These guys in the 3D modeling were so skilled. It was fascinating. They were doing, I mean, there was one on the guy on the other side. He was doing a 3D model of a butt crack of some old guy with a belly, and he had to actually draw in and 3D model the ass crack of this guy. I mean, it's that detailed. And they had full on, um, yeah. So here's me with Warren Buffett. It, it's really insane. And then the guy over here, that's supposed to be Bill Gates. So you can sit down and have a conversation with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. And then we went and had, she invited me to lunch. This is on the roof of the factory, a beautiful garden like style roof on the factory. And this is their private dining room. And the lunch was Hunan food. So it was really, really spicy, but man, it was good. Trust me, I got video of the whole thing. It's coming out in a video. It's not just going to be the factory. I still need to film some of it. There is one of these like showrooms up in Guangzhou at the Canton Tower on the first floor. And so I need to drive up to the Canton Tower. It's like an hour and a half north of here and film the actual showroom. And I'm going to combine it with the factory where they make it and introduce you to the the artists that do it. Really, really cool stuff, man. All right. Thank you very much, friendly. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, there were a couple times, William. I remember I walked into the main office for the company, and staring in front of me was Kobe Bryant, and they also had Aquaman. Okay, and then behind the desk was a woman, and but and she was a blonde woman with a giant smile, and I actually went up and I tried to talk to her, and she was one of these. She wasn't real. She was a wax. I thought for sure it was a real lady, and when I realized it, I actually physically got freaked out. I went, "Whoa!" and it kind of scared me a little bit because it did seem very spooky. I've seen those horror movies of wax museums where they come alive. You remember those, right? They're late night Cinemax, right? It's horror movies. So, oh man, yeah, these are not Madame Tussauds. These are so much better. When you go to the Sun Yat-sen Museum, you see Sun Yat-sen is done by them. Um, I've been to I've been to a few, expos and shows throughout China where they will have some famous person done by this company, and literally there are crowds of people standing around wondering who's real and who's not. And during the filming, I walked into a giant banquet room that had food everywhere, and there was an ancient Chinese empress. I can't remember her name right now, but ancient Chinese empress sitting at one end of the table, and it was like a banquet feast, and they had like all these imperial people everywhere, and I walked around, I was kind of filming myself and doing my thing, and then 2 girls kind of went, "Hi," and I was like, "Oh my god, you guys are real." So they blend in, and that's designed to do that. It was just awesome stuff, man. She's real, by the way, the one in the photo. She is real, yeah. What was the modeling girl wearing on her head? I don't know. Which photo are you talking about? This one here? She's wearing a beanie. She's just got a beanie. I mean, these are artists. These are highly skilled artists, not just 3D modelers, but they have makeup people. And so they're very artsy fartsy in this area. I've seen the most chilling live streams I've ever. Sorry about that. Well, I'll share with you one more story, and then we will get to the news. Oh, I went to a wedding. This is Shiva. This is a friend of mine, Shiva, and her new husband. Shiva and I have worked together for years. She was one of the very first teaching assistants I ever had at Malian, and she actually is the one that gave me my Chinese name. So I was very proud and happy to see her get married, and what a wonderful feast it was. So congratulations to Shiva. Also, congratulations to my sister, Karen. I have chatted with her, but the birth of a brand new baby girl, my very first niece. So I am a very proud uncle, and I cannot wait to go home and meet my new niece, Sylvia Charlotte. I'm really excited for that. Hopefully next summer. Okay, Mona and I went and saw James Bond, and I won't give anything away. If you haven't seen James Bond yet, you are you've got to see James Bond on the big screen. It's a long ass. It's almost 3 hours long, but man, what a great flick it was. There's a, it's a the ending. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the ending. If you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But I was almost in disbelief with the ending, and it shocked me that much. It kind of makes me wonder, where do we go from here? What happens next? Mm. All right, one more story. This week, I also filmed this. I got to go out to Huangpu and train for a day with the Zhongshan Fire and Rescue Team. This is a video that I have pitched to many people and trying to get made for a long time. There's two of them, actually. There's this one, the fireman, and then the policeman. I love Zhongshan's finest are some of the nicest policemen I've ever encountered in my life. Anytime I've had to deal with the traffic police, or running into a police officer of any kind on the street over the years that I've lived here, I have been super impressed with their professionalism and their courtesy, more so than I mean. The police in other cities are that way as well. Guangzhou police, I didn't have the same kind of warm feeling, but here in Zhongshan, at least, I definitely am a big fan. of the way they work and the way they present themselves. And then the fire department here as well, they don't get the same kind of hurrah that the fire departments in the West get, I feel at least. So I've been wanting to do a video to show what firefighters, their training, their daily lives, how they live, which is actually very similar to that of firefighters in the West, with some obvious differences. But this is their training center, and I got to train with them for a week. You know, climbing ropes, rappelling, doing exercises, putting out fires, all different kinds of things. And they were super, super gracious to me. These guys are about half my age, you know, and I did races with them and how long it takes to put on the equipment, hooking up the hoses and throwing them around and running with the hoses, running with the equipment, actually literally just jogging around with these, you know, chainsaws, these giant things, and the huge hot get ups and putting out fires. And uh, it was a wonderful, wonderful day. And, I, as I'm a little out of shape, me personally, but I made it through the day. These guys do that kind of training every day. And what a great bunch of guys. And I'm so happy that they opened up their firehouse to me. I broke bread with them and had lunch with them and their commanders. They were able to show me some exercises where, that's a they had to time themselves, so the alarm would go off and then they would all of them would run down the stairs, get their gear on, get in the truck, get out the door in less than a minute. It's fascinating to see, and it's a video that will be coming out soon on my channel. I'm so happy that they did it. Now that that one's done, now I hope that I get a chance to do it with the local police department. Also, I want to do one with the firefighters that work in Wuguishan in the mountains as well. So lots of great stuff. Um, what a memory! Every little boy in the world dreams about being a firefighter, right? Who didn't have a little firefighting truck, right? I got to live that fantasy this week. So that's what's keeping me busy, guys, is all of this stuff. Lots and lots of filming, lots of different experiences, and not a lot of time for editing. So I look at my schedule for next week and I have almost nothing scheduled for filming. It's all going to be editing. So be on the lookout. More videos are coming. I still have my Shantou video that I have to finish. It's actually loaded here somewhere. Yeah. So I will load that later. And see, I have one I did at an expo, at a technology expo. Let's see if that one's any good. Uh, Food videos. We got a new food video. A lot of China random stuff. So more cars. I've got great car videos coming. If you're a fan of my car videos, be on the lookout for that. Next week, I will be in Shenzhen for the Shenzhen International Boat Show. If you don't know, I have a long history with boats. I love boats. In fact, my logo is a compass rose with a nautical helm behind it. It's kind of a modern take on it. So that just kind of shows you how much boats are a part of my life, sailing and scuba diving. My whole family was involved in that. So I spent lots of weekends out in Catalina with my father and my whole family. It was part of our lives growing up. So the Shenzhen International Boat Show next week. The Guangzhou International Auto Show coming out in 2 weeks. I will be attending that. I attended it last year. It's one of the most popular videos on my channel. The Beijing Auto Show will be in the spring. And I got a couple other ones. I've had to cancel a trip that I was going to take because there are some new COVID outbreaks throughout the country. Everything seems to be kind of locking down, but you don't ever know when one's going to pop up somewhere. So traveling can be a little hectic because if you get stuck somewhere, then you can't get back. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. So right now there are some flare ups around. It's one of the largest flare ups we've had since the beginning. It's not here in Guangdong. There are zero problems in Guangdong, but everyone's still on edge. You wear masks everywhere. You show your codes everywhere. So the whole country is still kind of involved with this. And so my best to all of those out there who are dealing with it. Paul says, Helping Hands Disability Charity event coming up. Fancy getting involved and doing a promotional video about the event. Try and raise some donations for the disabled people. Yes, I did a short little video about that. I think about 3 years ago. It is on my channel. I hope to be heavily involved with the Helping Hands charity. If you don't know, it's a local charity that here in Zhongshan, and I actually have solicited some donations from other people regarding this charity. So there are a lot of events coming out, and I hope to be there as well. And yes, Catalina Island. Oh, you were there in '97. I was there in '97. Small world, Paul. Okay, let's do some shameless self promotion real quick. Let's see, where are we? And then we'll get to the news. Got a lot of news tonight. So follow me on Facebook. You get photos and things that I'm doing outside, kind of sneak peeks about what's going on and on the channel, what will be coming out soon. If you want, you can buy me a coffee. We love it. Don't I always appreciate donations. Or you can become a Patreon. I never ask for money. I never ask for donations. I never ask for people to subscribe to my channel on any of my videos. It's not how I do. But here on the live stream, I do show you what it's all about. Everything, all this videos, everything is 100% produced by me and financed by me. I do not do sponsored content. Although companies are contacting me on a daily basis. Hey, can you promote this? Can you do 30 seconds of this? We'll pay you this. And when I tell them, look, I'll do it, but don't pay me because I want my opinion to be mine, then I never hear from them again. So I leave a lot of money out on the table for not doing sponsored content. The companies that I do work with, when I go to them or they come to me, they are on the understanding that I am not being paid or compensated to be there. I'm doing it for you and for my channel and for the integrity of the content. So financially, it doesn't make sense. But I had to make that decision this year. Am I going to go the route of sponsored content and make this a money making thing, or am I going to continue to do it the way I have been doing it? And I'm very happy about that. And the companies that know this actually appreciate it because they know that the audience is getting an unfiltered, unbiased opinion about their products, about their companies. And I own the content and I own the opinion. So, that being said, if you are thinking about donating to a creator sometime in the future, think of me. All right, no more shameless self promotion. Let's go to the news. First one, what happened? Chinese famous restaurant is closing 300 stores. It is Haidi Lao. If you don't know Haidi Lao is a hot pot restaurant and very popular for their customer service. And they went public recently. When was it? In 2018, they had an IPO in Hong Kong, and it became one of the largest, wealthiest restaurants in the world um, after this initial public offering. And there are, yeah, here it's Haidi Lao opened its shares and the company's market value topped 100 billion Hong Kong dollars, surpassing the 12.1 billion US dollar Domino's Pizza and becoming the world's fifth largest restaurant company. The founder here, Zhang Yong, has gone straight up to number 35 in China's rich list. Now, I like Haidi Lao. It is a little pricey compared to other hot pot, and hot pot restaurants are extremely competitive. They're everywhere. But what sets Haidi Lao apart, if you've ever been there, it's the customer service. The way they treat their employees is top notch. I mean, I've done case studies about this in grad school about Ritz Carlton, why they're so good and how they can afford to charge so much is because they treat their employees so well. Same thing here at Haidi Lao. People want to work at Haidi Lao because they're treated and paid well. And that translates to great customer service and a great experience when you go there. They also have these like robots that go around and deliver things. You can get your shoes shined, you can get your nails done. They hand out free gifts like crazy. They have a little noodle guy show. Great restaurant, a lot of fun to go for an evening. The food is okay, but he's definitely this rags to riches kind of guy. Anyways, my feeling for this is, and this goes into the history of Hai Lao, is that there are too many of them. I mean, it seems like there's a new Hai Lao opening up down the street, around the corner, out the door. They're open 24 hours a day, and there's a new one opening up. There must be like 7 or 8 within a 10-kilometer radius of me, and I just don't see how they all can. They must be. There's just too many. So closing 300 of them kind of makes sense to me, I guess. Yeah. So if you eat alone at Heidi Lao, they'll actually bring you a teddy bear to sit with you. I don't know if that's cool or creepy, but that's what they do. So here's a little noodle guy that comes and does like a little noodle dance. Yeah. So that's what's going on. A great company, a wonderful place to eat. And again, the employees here love their jobs. Let the employee live with dignity first, then pursue happiness. I mean, it's a true Chinese success story. Them closing 300 stores was kind of news and a shock to a lot of people. One person can make money look very desirable, but a group of people can truly go anywhere with it. Therefore, he is also willing to share profits with his own employees, and he does that. He definitely does that. There's great opportunities if you're in the restaurant industry. There's great opportunities in Heidi Lao Company, but 300 restaurants kind of this happened today. I reported this. We'll see what happens in the future. Root beer. What's number one on your shopping list for Singles Day, 11/11? Um, I bought it. It's my new iPhone. I bought the iPhone 13 Pro. So that is. I spent so much money on the car this month. I don't think I can afford anything else. But I wanted to buy a new camera, and I was debating between buying like a new Canon camera and a new phone. My phone, I was an 11. I needed to upgrade, so I got the Pro, and I'm super, super happy with it. Um, are you still in? Yes, I'm still in Zhongshan. Been here 6 years now. God, it's been 6 years. Heidi will hit stunt growth very soon if they don't provide something new. That niche middle class market is always looking for new things. That's true, and all the Heidi Laos are cookie cutter. They're the same at one place and another, and they found a successful way of doing things, and they've just copied it, and that's what you do. But I feel like they're cannibalizing each other because they're so close to one, and there's so many out there. Mm. Nope, I'm not a big shopper. I really don't want anything. I went to IKEA yesterday. I got um, a new little table over here. But other than that, I mean, a couple lamps. But no, I think I'm good. Unless you want to buy me a new car, Root Beer, you can. I'll take a new car. You know, if you want to buy me something, great. But send me the money instead. I love that old. What was it? George Carlin. He said, hey, can I buy you a drink? He says, no, but can I have the money instead? Yeah. All right. What's next? Don't miss the autumn scenery in Guangdong. This also came out today. A couple places to visit for autumn. When I say winter is coming, that's the title of this. They're making all this fuss about. I think on Monday the temperature is going to drop by 16 degrees Celsius, and it's supposed to be cold. And when I say cold for Guangdong, that means high 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, that's like what, 15 degrees Celsius. It's gotten colder than that here. I mean, it's gotten down single digits in Guangdong, but everyone's making this huge deal about it getting that cold. Put on your jacket, be prepared. I'm like, it's nothing compared to what people have to deal with in the north. But today was 87 degrees Fahrenheit here in Zhongshan. I mean, it was blistering hot and humid. So winter supposedly is going to come on Monday. We'll see. Let's see. We have in Shaoguan. Ooh, I haven't heard of this. Mao Zedong Forest Farm, the hometown of the ginkgo tree in the Lingnang area. If I can only make it back up, I love Xiaoguan. Xiaoguan is a beautiful area of Guangdong. It's in the northern part of Guangdong, surrounded by mountains, great hiking, wonderful things. I did a video about the Guangdong Grand Canyon, a great video. I did it earlier this year. That's in that area as well. Qingyuan, of course, the rice fields are golden all around China right now, all around Guangdong. Drive into the countryside, you see the golden rice fields. It's beautiful, beautiful. This is Changtan Reservoir in Meizhou. Meizhou is on the far east side of Guangdong. It's a hell of a drive to get out there. There's one here in Jiangmen. Yeah, in Xinhui. This is Guifeng Mountain, which I have been to, and I've been meaning to go back and hike it. It's like a 30-minute drive for me, and I haven't gone back out there and hiked it. And I keep shooting myself in the foot every time I think about it. And I gotta go and make a video and show you guys because Guifeng Mountain is beautiful. I was there when I first came to China. It was one of the very first places I went hiking, and I loved it. It was excellent. Gotta go back. This is Yangjiang. Yangjiang is another city. It's maybe about 2.5 hours southwest of here along the ocean. That's where Jiapujian is. I have made videos there as well. This is Malan village, I guess, and Yangchun. Okay, so a couple places. If you're in Guangdong, go check them out. Get out of the city, go check out the countryside. Report finds 80% of young Chinese in debt. This doesn't surprise me. A new report from China reveals a whopping 86.6% of the 175 million people born in the country during the 1990s are currently in debt. I think that's in every country. Really? The study jointly released by the Bank of China Consumer Finance and Data Platform DataGoo shines a light on the worrying spending habits common among China's younger generation. It reveals young Chinese between the ages of 18 and 32 are prone to taking the buy now, pay later approach to consumption. They're also happy to open their wallets for better experiences and high quality products, even if they cannot afford them. That just shows that consumer confidence is very high, probably a little too high, maybe. The economy is still rocking and rolling here. I mean, yeah, there are parts of it that are kind of fluttering here and there. Every economy, every country has its issues, but on an aggregate, things are still, moving forward. Some are juggernauts moving forward. Others are kind of stuttering a little bit. Yeah. Chinese born in the 90s love pets too. Stats show consumers born in the 1990s did 40% of all pet related spending in the country, while the amount spent by those born after 1995 has grown exponentially for 3 straight years. I've been saying that for years. There's two industries here in China that if I had any money, I would invest in. I'm poor. I don't have any. I'm a teacher. But they are pets and RVs. Those are the two industries I would invest in. Pet culture is in its infancy. We saw a lot of it in Shukko. A lot of pet grooming and veterinarians and a lot of dogs walking around. In the smaller tier cities such as mine, it is growing like crazy. And there's a huge demand for pet supplies and dog training and there's no dog park here. You can't even take your dog to the local city parks, but there's a huge demand for it. And it's only a matter of time before this industry crops up, and you're going to start to see companies, you know, Chinese versions of PetSmart coming to China. Mark my words, it's coming. This it says it right here. Okay, I got it. Everyone's making some comments here. Let's take a look. Hey, buy me a Matchbox car, man. I dig it. I had a huge collection of Matchbox cars when I was a kid. I'll do that. I am not considering an EV. No, I would consider a plug-in hybrid if it's a new vehicle, but I'm not going to buy a new vehicle. I'm going to buy a used, like 2-3-year-old car. Just for financial reasons, it just makes more sense. And I'm still not convinced that pure EV, it's just not convenient for my lifestyles, all the road trips I take. I've done stories about that in the past and some case studies that shows you why. So plug-in hybrid, if I can afford, I can find one that's in good shape. But I think regular internal combustion engine is still the way to go for me. And one with a stick shift. I still love stick shifts, and EVs don't have stick shifts. It's just my personal taste. I live in the center of the city. Zhongshan is pretty big, so I'd love to buy you a beer when I finally make it back up to Zhongshan again. Thank you. Root beer currently in Hong Kong and deep gin jinja withdrawal. Do you know what jinja are? Don't you? Jinja. No, I don't. What are you referring to? Speaking in code. Which district do you live in Zhongshan now? I live in the center of the city. Pretty hard to invest in something in China when the stock market is so clamped down and yet so unpredictable at the same time. That's the way stocks are. I mean, I'm long term kind of guy. I'm not one of these day traders. I always try to look for investments that are long term. I do have some investments in the American stock market, but I'm finding it, um, and including Chinese stocks that are traded in the American stock markets. So I'm not a financial advisor. So I tell you what I see on the ground here, I guess. But yeah, EVs are soulless. I understand what you're saying by that. I do, especially if you're an old school car person, right? I don't know if I would say it's soulless because there's some great EVs out there that have a soul of its own that I'm a huge fan of, and um, yeah, I get what you're saying though. There's something about an old V8 with a stick shift that takes you back. Yeah, that's right, San Jose City. Okay, back to the news. Thank you for commenting, guys. I appreciate you all being here. This was great. Okay. 40% of all learning centers have closed, Ministry of Education says. So 40% of the previous 128,000 domestic offline tutoring firms were squeezed out of the market. Among the 263 online tutoring firms, nearly half of them were closed by now. This is all in the last couple of months. According to the monitor of MOE, the private tutoring sector experienced a rapid fall in demand since the implementation of the regulations. Related commercials were hardly seen, and investors withdrew their capital, which effectively restricted the wild growth of the industry. That is a perfect storm of new regulations coming out restricting investor investments, the hours of operation, which basically restricts all. I mean, the students would come on nights and weekends and holidays, and now you can't operate on those days. Nonprofit status, and all of these new rules have also, and a couple of the bigger companies, there's been some scandals about some of them like closing down without giving refunds or paying their employees. Wall Street English was the big one, I think. And so a lot of people are worried about that. And so they don't want to invest and sign up their kids in training centers of any kind right now. So the whole industry is kind of in flux. Everyone's still seeing where we're going to go. But I think in time, everyone's going to find their footing. There's going to be a couple more dropping off. There'd be other ones that pick up that slack if they survive and they have the financial footing to do that. Uh, to kind of guess where the market is now, it's like trying to hit a floating target. It's impossible, I think. Ask me again about it in a year. Big change coming to driver's licenses in China. If you drive in China, um, getting a driver's license in China, if you have to do it from scratch, it's extremely hard. But if you have a driver's license in your home country, getting that notarized and translated and actually getting a driver's license in China wasn't that too difficult a process. I struggled with it because I was trying to do it on my own, and it was years ago. But now looking back on it, it wasn't too bad. So now they're going digital. China is stepping up efforts to have a digital driver's license issued throughout the country by the end of 2021. That's just like 2 months from now. The digital driver's licenses are issued via an official traffic management mobile app and have legal effectiveness equal to the physical ones. So most people carry their driver's licenses in their cars because they're not really used as ID like they are in like America, where your driver's license is your actual ID. Here, you have a separate ID card that people use to, get into the library or whatever. So the driver's license is usually kept in their car. So having a digital one on your phone, I kind of like this. You can scan it places. I think it's going to be pretty convenient. On September 1st, 28 cities, including Beijing and Shanghai, started issuing digital licenses. They were joined. They were joined by 110 cities, including Taiwan and Shenyang, on October 20th. Great idea. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what this is all about and getting my own. Interior design, I thought this particular, as you guys know, sometimes I do these interior designs on my live streams of modern Chinese interior design. We've talked about it already. This is one from PC House. This is one that I subscribed. This is Chengdu Sanlilu Mountain City. It's a villa. It's about 700 square meters. So this is a big one, but incredibly interesting colors. It's these muted grays with some tiger stripes, some gold, some yellows, some blues, some purple. I mean, just something simple as this couch right here with the throw pillows and just one off colored pillow, and then one off colored chair in the corner. This monkey guy right here that you see here, I've seen him many, many places. I've seen him in hotels. He's a popular guy. But what a great little living room. The monkey kind of messes it for me. It's not really my thing, or gorilla, I guess he is. Hmm. Let me go upstairs. See see this right here. This is, I guess, a lamp. Kind of interesting. I'd love to see what it looks like at night. Super ultra modern. Yeah, I'm not crazy about the artwork, but it's okay. I love the dining table. And then here you get some of those cooler winter colors. It's great. I didn't even notice that one before. Uh, let's go to the bedroom. Really dig the bedroom. First class bedroom. Very nicely done. A little more pastel. And then you get some darker. Master bedroom number 2. Interesting little, I guess, this alcove. I wonder if that's a lamp there. Now, this lamp I have seen. I've actually seen this one at Gujin. Interesting combination. The wall art and I guess it's a hallway table. The daughter's room. Doesn't look like a child's room. It actually looks like a guest room more than anything. The cinema. Again, this is a big house. Great bar. Cool area. As I said, I was at IKEA yesterday, and I have a bed over here in the office, but it takes up so much space that I wanted to get like a Murphy bed I can fold up. But they didn't have the type of Murphy bed I want, but they have a sofa that has a fold out bed. But those are just notoriously not comfortable to sleep on. So I still haven't found a solution for it yet. What I really need to do is find an aftermarket Murphy where you put the mattress that I have here, which is very nice, and then fold that up and out of the way when I have guests over, because it just takes up half the office, this bed. Okay. Top 10 convenience stores in China by the numbers. Now, if you have been to China, you know there's a convenience store on every corner and they all sell the exact same thing. There are thousands of these. Number 10, Billy B with 2,000 stores. They all sell the exact same thing. Fook. Number 8, SF365. I never heard of that one. This one's in Jiangsu. Okay. 7-Eleven, of course. 7-Eleven it's different than it is in other countries here. They have some junk food, some street food, I guess, behind the counter that they're very, very popular. I'm not a fan though. Evan says you should visit Shunda's Furniture Market. Yes, I actually have an in with that. The manager of the Lihe Plaza in Gujin has shared with me some contacts. That is definitely, if you don't know, in Foshan, Shunda is a part of Foshan, and Foshan is filled with these furniture markets. Yes, it is. I haven't planned it. I haven't set a date yet. I'm just now making the contacts, but that is something that I want to do and will be doing. Uh, is going up to Shunda, which is not far. I mean, it's 40 half hour, 45 minutes on the highway north of here, and I will be checking that out. So yes, great minds think alike, Evan. By the way, longtime fan of yours, but finally decided to say hello. Zhongshan is my ancestor. Oh, thank you, Rupert. Appreciate it, and thank you for watching. Zhongshan is my adopted home. Oh wow, we've been online for a while now. Okay, so let's get a Family Mart all around. Okay, Lawson. Number 4, Tianfu. Number 3, US U Smile, which is it's on all the gas stations, of course. Meijia, and number 1, Easy Joy, with over 27,000 stores of Easy Joy. This is the one I see most of. Meijia. Yeah. Okay. To me, they're all the same. They all sell the same thing. All right. Do I have time for? Okay, we'll shoot. This is another interior design one. This is for a woman's apartment in Nanjing, Greentown Deep Blue. Okay, this is 270 square meters. So still pretty big with a much bigger budget than the townhouse. So you can imagine the yeah. I mean, you talk about ultra design. That looks great. I would personally go with a more simplified look, but this one looks pretty awesome. I think the cat owns this place. There's the kitchen. Great kitchen. Love the kitchen. Love the bar area. Wonderful. Let's take a look at the bedroom. Bathroom looks great. Love the bathroom. I'm not a fan of the big horse staring at you as you sleep. That's a little creepy. All right, but hey, maybe the owner is a fan of horses. Yeah, maybe. Because you gotta have a big walk-in closet, right? Oh, look at that. That's kind of crazy. The columns. I can dig it. Interesting office. I kind of like it. It's kind of got this the serene kind of feel to the office. You know, I kind of dig it. Or I guess that's a tea set, maybe. It's not really an office. I see a tea. No, maybe it's both. All right. Movie theater. Audio visual room has constructed a simple and colorful leisure scene with the owner can enjoy good movie time quietly and relax unusually busy mind. These butterflies, I've seen these in Gujin. They're made in Gujin. What a great little cinema room, though. Okay. Camilo asks, any news of China reopening for Pfizer vax foreigners? No news about that. Foreigners can come to China. You can get a visa and come here. You just have to you have to jump through all the hoops and, get all your tests done and be in quarantine. I think the quarantine is now 3 weeks. So you have to be in quarantine for 3 weeks. Foreigners are not banned from coming into China. You can come. Go get yourself a visa. You just have to do all the paperwork, and it's a lot, but you can come. People are still coming to China, guys. It's a subway war. Guangzhou beats New York City. So New York is my favorite city in the world for many reasons. Hong Kong is one of my favorite cities as well. But the New York City subway system has a lot to be desired. But it is old. It's old. So, I get it. Um, but when you go look at that compared to like the Guangzhou, I mean, these are highly clean with no people, these photos. But Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Shanghai, these subway systems here in China, they're all pretty new and they grow like crazy, but they are really nice. They're fabulous. So it says here, it is also said that subway in Guangzhou totaled 500 kilometers by 2020, which was among the top five in the world's cities. In 2020, the Guangzhou Metro transported over 2.4 billion passengers. As 9 new subway lines will start construction during the 14th five-year plan, that's 2021 through 2025, the city's subway will exceed 860 kilometers. And it's not just Guangzhou. So you have Guangzhou has a subway. Dongguan started their metro, and then you have Shenzhen, which is a giant subway system as well. These subway systems are now spreading out into the city of Foshan, and they're going to be connected all the way to Zhongshan. And we have the high speed rail that goes from here into Guangzhou. It's just one line, but the subway systems are all starting to blend in with one another here in the Pro River Delta. So in the near future, you're going to be able to go from Futian, Shenzhen into Tianhe, Guangzhou, down into Zhongshan, and perhaps even into Zhuhai. I haven't heard anything about Zhuhai, but I know that these subway systems are supposed to connect into Zhongshan. It's insane. So when you put all of that together, it's got to be, and then you have Hong Kong on top of that, just across the border from Futian. It's got to be the largest subway system in the world. I mean, I really can't think of any other area that has a bigger one. Ah, Gene, good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Yes, that is something that is to be said about Guangzhou. The Guangzhou subway system does close down at night. I wish it didn't, but it does. It's too bad. And I have been caught trying to get back to my hotel late at night, and the subway closes, and and I have to take a cab to get home. And I have a story about that years ago. Yeah. Oh, you mean the NTA in New York? Yes, the one in New York runs. Does the one in Shanghai close at 11 p.m.? I can't remember. I think it does. I don't remember though. Hmm. There are rumors again the China Hong Kong border will reopen next month. If so, that might be when China tests the waters and admitting Pfizer vaccine inbound travelers. Maybe they've been talking about opening that border for every time they talk about there's a new outbreak somewhere on the border or in Hong Kong or in Macau, and then they push back the plans to reopen the quarantine-free travel. They do have a system now with Hong Kong. It's something like 2,000 people can go per day uh, with quarantine free between the mainland and Hong Kong. I don't know if that's still going on, but they started that around the National Day holiday. I'm still waiting for them to give me the opportunity to go to and from Hong Kong and Macau on the same day. I have a residence permit. I live in Guangdong, but right now I'm still subject to quarantine. So that is not on the table yet. But you see it in the news all the time. Oh, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're working hard towards that, but no definitive. And when they do it, you have to take into account that if there is one suspected case, not even confirmed, but a suspected case on either side of that border, they're going to shut down, the non. So you have to be careful. If you could get caught, you can get stuck, and all of a sudden you're stuck in quarantine for 3 weeks because there's one suspected case. I mean, that's how seriously they take it here. It's pretty tightly. It's pretty tight. Well, people do this best from A versus worst from B comparisons, tweet articles, enjoy people making stupid contents. That's a good point. Media has too much power these days. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, I actually prefer not to take the subway only because there's a great quote. I can't remember some baseball guy. I think it was a manager of the no, it was some baseball guy in New York. They were talking about the closing of Penn Station. Um, and he made a great sense. When you arrive to a city by bus or by car, you feel like you're being welcomed by open arms. You can see the city out your window. But when you arrive by subway, you feel like you're arriving underground in the sewers like a rat. And that's how I feel when I go to cities. I prefer not to ride the subways, even though some maybe they are faster or more convenient. I prefer not to do it. I prefer the city streets. I don't like taxis, but I prefer DD. I even prefer the city bus over the subways because I can look out the window and see the city go by. On the subway, you're just looking at your phone. So if I live there and on a daily basis, I wouldn't want to live that lifestyle anyways. But uh, yeah, yeah. It's strange because there's lines construction everywhere in all of these cities, and when new lines open up, they got to replace all the maps and all the cars and all the subway stations and everything. And then it seems like every couple weeks they'll announce a new one that's going to be coming out soon. Okay, two more. Luxury brands are ditching KOLs for virtual influencers in China. Now, if you're outside of China, if you don't know what a KOL is it's like an influencer. It's like a vlogger or a Douyin TikTok person, right? Who sells products, who markets and gets paid to sell you products. That's a KOL. And this year, 2020, was a momentous one for all of us, and that goes for luxury fashion too. Amid the global pandemic, the industry faced an amount of reckoning with its digital dimension. As brands reshaped their offering to embrace the online world, their approach to influence and engagement had to change in step. So enter a new generation of unreal influencers with computer generated humans, AI created personas, and digital iterations of celebrities among the growing list of virtual idols taking over the key opinion leader landscape. That is very true. I mean, I can show you the emails on a daily basis. From I've been hit up from uh, Zara, from Levi's jeans, every kind of app you can think of wanting me to promote their app or their video game or something like that. Oh, we'll pay you, we'll pay you to do this. And I have to tell them no because it's too much work. But I know a lot of people who operate in YouTube and in this space. That's how they earn their money. That's how they make money. That's their lifestyle. That's their livelihood. I get it. And this is an interesting dynamic that is going to affect that in the future. In China, these synthesized humans are attracting record traffic and ranking in record revenues, giving real life influencers a run for their money. The country's virtual idol industry was worth less than 100 million yuan or $15.5 million in 2018, but with increased investment behind it, is expected to grow to as much as 1.5 billion yuan by 2023. God, that kind of growth with all that money going to it. It's just, competition is good. You're just gonna have to, those of you who do make a living as a KOL on TikTok or Instagram or Weibo or Billy or Douyin or any of these live streaming, all this stuff. It's so quickly changing that in order for you to keep earning that kind of dough, you have to change with the times. Okay, let's do the last one. Xiaomi plans to mass produce its own EVs in Beijing in 2024. So Xiaomi is a very large electronics manufacturer, I guess you can say. They're relatively cheap. The computer I'm working on here is a Xiaomi laptop that I bought almost 4 years ago, and it's great. I love it. It's been wonderful, and it was half the cost of an Apple. I think it looks great. Its build quality is excellent. It's still rocking and rolling. I mean, this over here is an Apple, and that's what I do most of my editing on. But for an everyday laptop workhorse, this thing is pretty sick. They sell phones. They sell little scooters. They sell household appliances. They sell tools, they sell toys, they sell TVs, they sell all kinds of stuff. And now they're getting into, and they're huge. I think they're huge in India. I think they might be number one in India. Or they were. I don't know if they still are, but in Guangzhou, these Chinese smartphone Xiaomi is expected to mass produce its own electric vehicles in the first half of 2024 in the CBD area. Beijing, its CEO Lei Jun said on Tuesday. Comments were made during the company's investor day and confirmed later in a post by the CEO on China's Twitter-like service Weibo. Xiaomi's shares in Hong Kong jumped by 5% on Tuesday. Xiaomi EV now has 300 employees, the company said in September. Lei leads the group. China's electric vehicle market is getting more and more crowded with the entry of new players. Chinese search giant Baidu launched a standalone electric car company in January and February, hired a CEO for that business. Yes, Baidu, which is the Chinese Google, also is getting into, they do autonomous buses, they do robo-taxis. They just invested billions of dollars in their robo-taxi business. And now they have their own electric car company. And stay tuned to my channel for the future, because Baidu is one of these companies that I might get to work with and show you some of those EVs. So I'm very excited for that. I will say this one thing though. I'm actually following the EV market in America, which is behind China as far as what's going on. But the offerings that I've seen coming out, I've been watching the reviews and the videos about the Rivian truck, um, obviously the Ford Mach E, um, the Tesla Cybertruck, the Ford Lightning, the Lucid. These are getting incredible reviews. They look like incredible cars. Now, a lot of the EVs I've driven here, the Xpeng, the Neo, the Lee One, I absolutely love, and all the other startups that are coming out with these EVs, the Zeekr, are truly amazing. And we're in this really fascinating time to be a car nut. And so I'm kind of a car nut, but I'm not very knowledgeable. I'm not as knowledgeable as other people, but I'm having so much fun reading about this and learning about it and making videos about it. It's going to be a very interesting next couple of years in the EV market, not just here in China, but back home in America. I know a lot of comments I get on my car videos are that America's dead in the car industry. They're so far behind, and yeah, they're a little late to the game. But don't forget Tesla. I mean, Tesla's really still, in my opinion, number one. And these new offerings and things that I see coming out in America are very fascinating, and I honestly wish I could make it home to see it and to drive these cars back home. And unfortunately, I cannot. I'm stuck here, so I'm making do with what I have and enjoying the incredible car market here. So I'm bringing that all to you. There's plenty of other guys out there that'll make videos on the Lucid and all those other ones. So I heard there were groups of customers filing complaints about the newly delivered Seeker having misleading ads. I've talked about that, Stanley, in the past. That happens with every new car. Every new car. It happens with every Tesla. With regards to the Zeekr, I've heard about that as well. But where one material goes away, another feature comes out. So, I mean, the final pre-product, then they make it very clear pre-production vehicles are not the production vehicles, because they need to work out their manufacturing things. There's regulations to be involved with. It's very common. All illustrate China's advantage resulting, ironically, from its development being relatively later from the West's, no burden from legacy infrastructure. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, everything here is new, but it will age in time. Um, And they tear things down and rebuild them very quickly here. You've all seen the videos of them tearing down a bridge overnight and then rebuilding it within a week. That's a real phenomenon. That stuff does happen here. Tesla has power, but who has the best road feel? That's a great question. Um, I would definitely. I think the Tesla technology is the best, but as far as the driving experience, I would agree. I don't think Tesla is the best driving car. Driver's car, I should say. The Zeekr was pretty good. Um, Neo is pretty good for such a large SUV. Um, I haven't driven the Polestar 1 or the Polestar 2, but I'm told the Polestars are an incredible driving car. So keep an eye out for that. Polestar is supposed to make waves. Check this one. I mean, the newer things aren't always most eye grabbing. Eventually, China will hit that phase two. Most advanced stuff you have now, the more difficult to renew in 50 years. That's true. Yeah. Again, it's easy to see what happens. I mean, I look at like a city like Shenzhen where everything is brand new and it's amazing to look at. But, you know, how will all of that last over time? Will they keep building? They'll tear buildings down. They'll keep building other ones. Okay, guys, I got to run. It is almost coming up on an hour and a half. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your patience with my videos. They will be coming out again. I got a lot coming out, variety of topics, very interesting stuff. Follow me on Facebook. You can see what I'm doing on a weekly basis and get a kind of sneak peek about what's coming out on the channel itself. A lot of very interesting stuff. I'm trying to get it in over the next 2 months. It's still busy season for me with the term. Come January 1st, I am got a lot more free time, and I'll be hopefully doing some traveling within China, and then for a few weeks before the term starts again, because frankly, I'm a teacher, and that's my priority in life, and that's what I love to do. So that comes first. This channel is still kind of a hobby, but you guys keep me going, and I do appreciate it. Uh, Great question, Rupert. Thank you. I do not have any I thought about doing it. I've talked about doing it. I wanted to do it on Tuesday nights, but my schedule, I some nights I just can't do it. I really can't. So I don't have a schedule for the live streams. I don't have a podcast. I thought about hooking one up, but um, it's just not doable because every week is different. Every day is different. I'm exhausted from the day and I had to get this in, and now it's yeah, it's almost midnight, so I gotta hit the sack. Again, thank you all very much for joining, Jolly. I will message you, man, and I hope everyone is safe and happy. Take care, bud.